Okay, hello everybody. Good morning. Thank you very much that you can be here today to give you an overview and idea about our project, our migration project from SAP R3 to S/4HANA by using Cloud ALM. At the Solthurner Spitäler AG, you will see later about what it is exactly. Let me shortly introduce ourselves, or we introduce ourselves. My name is Matthias Fröhlicher. I have nearly 30 years experience with SAP, did many SAP rollout projects all over the world, in Asia, South America, but of course also in Europe, Germany and Switzerland. I'm from Switzerland, working now since 6 years at the Solthurner Spitäler AG, it's a hospital, and I'm there responsible now for the implementation or the transformation from SAP R3 ECC system to the S/4HANA system as the project leader.
Hello, also from my side. My name is Andreas Geng. I'm the IT leader, project leader from the delivery side. I'm also leading a big technology team, and I'm also leading the practice lead for the BTP, the Business Technology Platform.
Thank you, Andreas. Shortly, let me show you what is the Solthurner Spitäler AG. This is a canton in Solothurn in Switzerland. As you see, the region north is close to Basel, the region east is more direction Zurich, and the region west is direction Bern. And you see the canton looks like a puzzle, is a little bit split up all over. We have in total 7 locations, around 4,500 employees, and not only SAP is a main application for us, we have more than 300 applications. As you might know, every medical tool needs a separate application, and we also take care to that ones, yeah. And our business transformation now from SAP R3 to the S/4HANA system affects the whole hospital, not only the administrational department like finance, controlling, logistics, patient administration, also the emergency, because every patient which comes to the hospital will be opened in SAP as a case. That's one thing, and also the nursing station, whenever they order something internally, a medication or something else from the logistics department, they use SAP to do that. Also the surgery, the operational doctors and the surgeons, they also use SAP when they need the tools to make an operation, to let's say cut a leg or something, a knee operation, they also use SAP to actually document everything inside there. And last but not least, of course, the IT department also uses SAP. But you see, SAP is used everywhere, not only the administration. A hospital is a 24/7 job, 365 days a year. So life really depends on SAP. It's important that it runs and that it's smooth. Give you some figures maybe shortly. That's how the hospital looks. One at the main location, let's say, in the stationary patients. Stationary patients are patients which stay at least 1 night in the hospital. On the other hand side, you see the ambulant patients. These are the ones which come in the morning maybe, do a surgery or just for a checkup and then go back at the same day. From them we have more than 230,000 a year in 2023. The stationary patients are split it up in 2 different parts, the acute somatics, over 30,000, and we have a psychological clinic as well, and there we have more than 1,900. As you can see, so 30,000, nearly 33,000 cases a year. Nursing days may be also interesting, over 200,000 nursing days a year is quite a number. Okay, then we go further. A calm way to migrate from SAP R3 or ECC to S/4HANA. This is our agenda. Initial state and project goals. Tell you something about that. Then about our quality approach by using the Cloud ALM. And of course, at the end, a conclusion. Initial state, where did we start from? Currently, we were operating in a SAP R3 ECC system. R3 system, and as everybody else, we also need to move to S/4HANA yeah, we have no choice there. Sooner or later, everybody has to. Of course, you had significant expertise in the line of business. This is available at us. Our project is very much under time pressure. We have a tight project line for only 1 year, because the thing is that in the hospital, not everybody is waiting for IT projects. As you can think of, the nurses has other things to do than testing and take care to IT problems or SAP problems. That's why we want to keep it very short. But yeah, it's always the same. After one project is live, then the next one is coming again. What is very important, the module ISH, that's the Industry Solution Healthcare. Might not everybody knows that. It's especially for the hospitals. There stays on the old system, on the R3 system, and we do a real-time interface in between the S4 and the R3 system in between. Also HR will stay on the R3 system. There we follow another approach, not go to S4HANA. Because in the hospital data, patient data, and also personal data are very sensitive, and we do not want to see them everywhere in the world, or that people can, yeah, this is a sensitive topic there. Exactly, many test cases are currently managed manually in Excel. That's also one thing. We did not have any testing tool. We did not have any processes documented. We had not a project management tool. Everything was on Excel, Word, even on paper sometimes, by telephone, using telephones to communicate with each other, which was very, very difficult. So we were looking for a tool, and luckily we found then the Cloud ALM, where we show you now what we did there inside then. Our main project goal, what we wanted to achieve, of course, technology, state of the art. Not everybody who goes to a hospital, which is a patient there, want that there is the most modern and newest infrastructures. The doctors are state of the art. So of course also for the administration, everything around, we want to be on a technological high level. Also for our employees, that they, for their employee place there, that they see not only the doctors get their things, that we are also a little bit state of the art. It's also always good for the employees to see that we have a modern backbone there, modern landscape, and going with the time. Yeah, of course, digitalization is very important for us. The approach from our project is that we do a one-to-one migration. Is very important for us. So we clearly communicated from the beginning onwards, for this 1 year, we do a frozen zone. So the only thing we did in this year now is legal requirements, and whenever it was necessary. But other than that, no changes, no wishes from the user departments. We did nothing there. Really a frozen zone, which is a very, very good approach from my point of view, makes the project much simpler and easier. We also did not implement new processes, not at all. We wait with that for another phase after the go live. Then we do an optimization phase there. Yeah, exactly. And now we track this whole project with Cloud ALM, and I'm happy to give the word to Andreas, which shows you then how exactly we did that.
Right, Matthias, thank you for the introduction. You've heard that lives depend on SAP. I mean, you know that's a critical system. That's a system that needs to be run, and Matthias said it. The quality must be really high. So we have high requirements on the quality and the system as well. And SAP gives us some guidelines, like the 10 SAP quality principles. May I ask to the round, who knows those 10 quality principles? Oui. We don't want to dive into each of those 10 quality principles. Nevertheless, we added you the link to here. That's the link to the SAP page where you can download those 10 quality principles. And I don't want to go through all of them. But I would like to highlight 4 of them. And that's the one thing, and the second thing is going to be that how did we incorporate those quality principles into Cloud ALM. So first of all, one point is start scoping. That's exactly what we did at the beginning of the project. The second thing is number 4, ensure timely delivery and effective tracking. Number 6 is going to be apply appropriate methodology and plan for quality and achieve production readiness at the end. That's the 4 points which we're going to show you now, how we incorporate all these topics into Cloud ALM. Let's start with quality principle 2. Start scoping early. The sooner we start with scoping process, and the sooner we all know within the project team what is going to be the goal of the project, the easier it is. There's a lot of advantages also in communication, also in the change management process. If you all know what we're talking about, that helps us a lot. We started with our fit gap processes with a lot of workshops, and we found out that we've got 62 processes within the hospital that run on SAP. We have the solution processes listed just as an example. That's just an extract of it on the left-hand side, so you can see we've got them all within SAP Cloud ALM. Not only that, I mean, it's nice to know what the processes are, but it's even nicer to know what are the process steps inside each process. So with that, we can even map the requirements that we have to each process or even each process step. Plus, we can also map, and it comes the next step, all the test cases we have to each process step and to each requirement. So that gives us a great traceability throughout all the entities we have within the tool, and that gives us a good tool to also communicate. We've heard before, we used to have Excel and Word and paper tools and whatever. That is difficult to communicate. Today, it's all digitalized, let me put it like that. It's not only that all the stakeholders are on board, also the project team sometimes has now some guidelines, sometimes somewhere from off the track. Now we have guidelines, we have railguards as well, where the project is allowed to work in. That is really important if you all know about the scope. If you go to the next quality principle, ensure timely delivery and effective tracking. So what we see is the project overview. Actually, that's one of my favorite views. And the nice thing is you can align it to your needs. So if you're a tester or a requirements engineer or a project leader like us, you can adjust the tiles as you like. All these tiles you can put in together as you like. To us, it's important, where do we stand with the project? This, what you see now, is basically in the middle of the project. This is after 6 or 7 months now. We've got like 170 tasks already completed. We've got like, in this case, 15 tasks still outstanding. We see the overall progress as well. So we've got different project phases like the prepare, explore, realize, deploy, and run. As you can see, we are not started the deploy phase yet. We are at the end of the realize phase. That means we have gone through a couple of test migrations already through our process of the R3 to S4 migration. And a super important point is the one down here, the overdue tasks. For all project meetings we have, that's one of the major points. We look at this point, overdue task, click on that, and see who has still tasks to fulfill. Sometimes people say, oh yeah, sure, I forgot to close that task. Good enough, we just close it. Other times, there might be discussions and problems with some tasks that have impact on other tasks. That's actually another nice thing within Cloud ALM. You can list all your project tasks and align them and give them dependencies. So at the end, you can see a nice Gantt chart as well, and you can see what the dependencies are, and if, in case like here now, we've got some outdated or overdue tasks, we can talk about the dependencies and what the impact has if we are late on this simple task. As well, important to the quality, you see the failed test runs so far. So we've got 31 failed test runs, we've got 17 open defects. So it doesn't sound like much at the moment, but nevertheless, we've got failed test runs and defects, and we have to look into them. What is the problem? We can talk about it in a big round, real time, and we can solve all problems or many problems immediately in the same meeting. I can also see that I've got 10 tasks assigned to me, and I also see my task coming up on the bottom of the list. And to me, that's a perfect web page or a perfect page to start a meeting. And again, how many of you are preparing PowerPoint slides for project meetings and steering meetings? That's just the opposite now. We don't do that anymore. No matter which meeting we are in, if it's a team meeting, it's a project meeting, it's a steering board meeting, we use this project overview and everybody knows where to look at. That saves us a lot of time and we can focus on the really essential things. Let's head on to the next one, apply appropriate methodology and plan for quality. Matthias said before, it's important which approach we choose for the migration to get from R3 to S4. We use a selective data migration, and we run through 4 so-called test migrations, TM0, 1, 2, 3, before we actually go live, in this case in 5 weeks from now. Of course, what is the definition of the scope and the objectives? We have talked about that before. That's super important that we all know what the goal is. And as Matthias said before, we find ourselves in a freeze period. We do not allow any changes. We do not allow any extensions, nothing, unless it's a legal requirement or it's a productive problem that we face. I talked about the scope at the beginning. So if someone comes along saying, listen, I've got a change or I've got an increment or something, and we can always say, does it fit into the processes? Does it fit into the scope? If no, let's postpone it to the optimization phase after the project. And the last one on here, the implementation module offers a great functionality called Quality Gate. As you know, if you want to go live, you need a cutover plan. A cutover plan is basically a cookbook, let me say it like that, which ingredient you add first, second, third, and when and how long do you need to cook something. We started in Team 0, in the test migration 0, which is basically a technical migration where you just connect the systems, see how you get the data transferred from R3 to S4. But we listed the first task already into a quality gate and advanced from test migration to test migration. So TM2, which is our user acceptance test migration basically, has already a full cookbook of all the tasks that are required for a go-live weekend. Still, we have some uncertainties and things change, and we have interfaces attached to the system and everything. But we've started with, I guess, 20 steps in the quality gate on the cutover plan. We are now at over 300. So that shows the importance of a cutover plan. And usually in previous projects, we used Excel to plan our cutover. Now we use the quality gate. I'm going to show you that in a minute. The quality gate can be divided, in our case, this is how we use it, can be divided in 2 sections to us. We see the one here in orange, the top part is what needs to be fulfilled to actually pass the quality gate. And on the lower part, we see the project tasks that are going to be assigned to the quality gate in order to achieve the quality. And down here, that's basically part of the cutover plan. That's what I just said, like over 300 tasks are hidden behind those 4 main tasks. And we need all those 400 tasks to actually achieve the quality gate. That's for the migration as such, itself. Plus, we have a second quality gate for all our test phases. We have a migration test phase where we basically compare tables from R3 with S4. We've got a viewing test phase where we actually look at the transactions themselves, like VA05. Are all the orders in R3 the same orders as in S4, for instance? And then we have a process testing phase where we go through the end-to-end process as well. So we've got a quality gate dedicated to the testing phase as well. These are the 2 collegates we have since TM0, and which we are going to go through until the go live as well. Here you can see a real example. That's our real project from TM2, from our test migration 2, actually the user acceptance phase, that is. And you can see on the very left side, we started somewhere on the 15th of July this year and ended on the 23rd of August, so that's like 6 weeks. And you can see that at the left-hand side, that's all in gray. That means all test cases are in initial state. On the first day already, there's some in blue. That means test cases or test executions have started. And over time, they got more and more and more. And to us, as project leaders, that's super important to track this every day. Plus, at the same time, we see down here how the number of defects increased. And not only the number of defects increased, we can also see that the number or that the defects also got solved during the course of the testing. There's new ones coming in as well, and there's still some in the in progress state, which is a dark blue bit. But we can see in a very nice way, in one view really, where are we standing in our project in terms of progress of the testing. This one does not tell how many of these 14 are in a critical state or in a low priority state. We see that all test cases have been executed and all defects have been touched or we're working on. So this is how basically from my side, how we use SAP Cloud ALM in our project. And I hand over back to you, Matthias.
Yeah, thank you. Again, some figures and facts, just to show you this from our technical migration to these data. We created in Cloud ALM totally 528 test cases. But of course, when you see then the third row there, the number of test executions is more than 1,700. So each test case is run once at least or more times. You can run them as many times as you want. Especially when they are failed, we usually do also a retest of this test case. There is a status for that to set up. And that's quite helpful, so we can track everything there. We have total 18 test plans created. So for each technical migration, we created 3 different test plans. Always for, as Andreas said, just for the migration test to see, the viewing test, and for the process tests, we always created an own test plan there. Defects, at this moment of the project there, we had 267 defects. That's very good actually. Every defect you find you can solve, or at least it's stated down, and you don't find it after go live anymore. And you can keep track. You can always follow up there and see exactly what is the status. Yeah, and once it's documented in a previous stage of the project, it's not lost. You see it then in the next migration. If the same error is coming again, then you can compare what happened actually there. Why is it not solved? Is a transport missing, or is the migration not correct, the migration rule not correct, or what is the problem there? Exactly. Testers involved, 42. I said in the beginning we have 4,500 employees in the hospital, but only 42 testers. So these people are have a lot of responsibility. You see that. Everybody is using SAP in the whole hospital, and it depends basically on 42 people. So they're doing a very good job, and we are very happy and proud that they do it so well. It runs really good at the moment, yeah. Number of project tasks in total, I think, something over 700 is all tracked there. It's always good to show numbers also to the steering board. It's always impressive to see and to know a little bit about numbers. Makes a good impression about it from my point of view. Exactly, that's the state after technical migration 3, as Andreas said. In 1 month, the 1st of November weekend is our go live weekend. So everybody pressed the thumbs that it runs well. Exactly. Oh.
It's my turn again.
Sorry.
Yeah, we didn't talk about the quality principle 9 yet. That's basically the production readiness. So it's not only the cutover plan that we need to have ready for the production weekend. It's also the end users which have to be trained. I mean, they're going to be on a new system. They're going to be on S4. most things are probably the same thing, but there's some parts that have changed, like the banking data, so you enter them all in a Fiori, not in a SAP GUI anymore. So that's the things that need to be trained for a smooth and successful go-live. And as well, the user acceptance testing. Our principle is train the trainer, and they are going to train their people as well, and the user acceptance testing has a broad variety of people that actually test the new system, and they go through each and every test case, and if they say, yes, we are happy with the new S4 system, the data is exactly as it was like in the R3 system, so we can also say, yes, we are happy from our side, and the migration was successful so far. Of course, it's not only the people that use the S4, it's also the people that run S4. That's the personnel, the operations personnel. Also, they need to be involved, and they need to be engaged in the new system as well. How do you run it? How do you maintain it? And the go-live simulation as such, which we have successfully passed a week ago as well, where we run through the cutover plan again, where we basically run a real migration. We're not going to work overnight or over the weekend, but on the normal weekdays. We go through the entire cutover plan again and perform each and every step again, including backups, including RFC destinations, including all the steps that are required to be ready for, well, in 5 weeks time from now. I can't repeat it again. And that is really important. Plus, what happens on the day after, on the Monday morning, 6 o'clock, when the hospital is back live again, people come in, maybe people are waiting at the emergency station, and S4 must be up and running again, so we have to be ready and prepare for a hypercare support. As of course, the first 2 weeks are probably going to be very heavy. We hope, since we have tested well and the tool has support as well, that the hypercare support is going to be pretty low. It's a hope and expectation. Nevertheless, we are also going to be ready for that, just to achieve production readiness.
Exactly. Then conclusion, project quality. We heard a lot about project quality here now. For a hospital, very, very, very important. Maybe the most important point here. For all stakeholders, I mean for the steering committee, for the board of members, but also for the nurses in the emergency, and also for the doctors as well, is very, very important that the quality is given there and is transparent for everybody, and is very good that you can use Cloud ALM for that. As Andreas said, the dashboard we use in any meeting for everybody. Okay, the first 1-2 times maybe they had to get used how it looked like, but it's always real-time data. We don't need to prepare every time slides and things, so that's really, really helpful and a good tool for us. Gives us also maximum efficiency. We have real-time data, absolutely perfect for us, and is a minimal administration effort. You don't need to go into Excel, into Word, you don't need to write emails, you don't need to talk to people sometimes even, you just give them the link and they can see by themselves the dashboard, how the current status looks like. So quality, very important. Then single sources of truth. Again, we do not have any project plans on paper or on Excel or wherever. We use one tool for everything, including testing, including resource management, requirement management, everything is inside there. Helps us really a lot there. Reporting functions as well. We saw it earlier this morning also a little bit about the analysis. And Andreas showed also the slide with the test cases, the progress and the defect status. Helps us also a lot there, yeah. It's always there, real time. Very, very good. Exactly, sustainability as well, end-to-end traceability from requirement to defect, from the very beginning of the project, where we started with the scope, until the defects and the solution of the defects, everything is in one tool. Nothing is lost, no data lost, so very, very helpful. Exactly. And, of course, the best thing here at the left side there, no costs, is still for free. No maintenance fee, no licenses. Very, very good so far. Exactly. That's more or less is it. Thank you very much for your interest. Questions? Jetzt musst du, glaube ich, ausschalten.
First of all, thank you so much for the presentation. It was very good to see the results, the very good results. Just curious, did you use any test automation capabilities, for example, during the viewing test phase? No? Okay. And why not? What was the decision why not to use?
Einschalten.
Well, we have a tight timeline, and of course, automation would have helped us to a certain extent. Nevertheless, you also have to automate those tasks. So that also is an additional effort which you have to take. And the organization is, well, running a huge project, plus handling the operations task as well. That would have just been too much for now. Nevertheless, we talked about that, and there's a couple of things that are repeatable and that would help a lot to automate things. And that would probably be something, here you go, for our optimization phase. Maybe a little idea for you guys, we're running an S4 transformation project. We disallowed all changes, but we allowed the people to say, keep a list. What would you like to have to be done after the project? And we added an optimization phase of 9 months after the project. We can exactly include things like automation as well.
How did you handle the transport? Did you use the change management and the features in Cloud ALM? And if not, how did you do it?
Transport management. Transport management is totally out of Cloud ALM. Transport management, transport requests to go into the system we handle outside, directly in SAP. It's not tracked in Cloud ALM. Not yet. It's possible, but we didn't use that feature yet, yes. What we do is use a dual maintenance tracker, is a Fiori app, where we see the transport from the R3 system comparing to the S4 system, because not every transport is really necessary in S4 as well, because I told you HR and ISH module stay in the R3 system, so they're not relevant for the R4, so we have this tracker, is an app, Fiori app.
San? Yeah. One question regarding regulated environments. We discuss a lot also in the council about those topics. Is that also something that's relevant for you in a hospital from a testing perspective and tracking everything, tracing the changes, maybe also signatures from the testers or something, or is that not a thing for hospitals?
It's not a validated environment. We don't use the signatures or anything like that to sign the test case and sign test protocols. It's not a validated environment like GDPR, like the FDA requires or something. As such, it's not required, but we are going to approve all test cases in a meeting again, in a project meeting with all stakeholders, and we sort of agree in the quality gate, and we pass the quality gate all together. So it's been approved and the quality gate has been passed. But it's not in a validated environment. Mm-hmm.
Hi. I assume that every project member have worked with SAP Cloud ALM, and how was the acceptance? Was it easy if anyone is working with Excel and like that, and now we have a structured tool? Easy or hard, or what was your experience?
It's a very good question. In the beginning is always the same. Everybody says, no, something new, I don't like it, it's not good, but you have to go through there. I think after they used it once or twice, it was quite accepted. And now nobody wants to give it away anymore. So it's just the beginning, and it's pretty easy to learn by yourself. You go in and it's actually, you just click around and play around and then you learn it. You cannot do something wrong. So beginning was hard, yes. The people didn't really accept it, but there is no way out. We said that's the tool we use, and you have to, and now it's very, very much accepted. Nobody wants to give it away anymore. So, yeah, like always, I think it's also a bit, how to say that, people in different parts of the world are more open for new things comparing to people maybe in Central Europe. At least that's my experience from my previous rollout project I did. It's a mentality thing a bit, yeah.
Yeah, first of all, thank you for your presentation. I have a question about your migration. What was your biggest challenge while using Cloud ALM? Was it now, like he said, to have the first step into Cloud ALM, how to use it, or what was during your phase the biggest challenge that you had?
That's a good question. Biggest challenge? Yeah, I think the biggest challenge for us in the hospital is that the daily business needs to run. That one has always priority. And the people are not 100% dedicated to that project. They do other things as well, and the daily business needs to run, and I think that's the biggest challenge in a hospital, yeah. If a patient has a problem or something is not good there, this is always first priority, and makes it sometimes difficult that you get the people do their jobs and tasks done on time, so you need to push there also a little. Yeah, I think the whole organization there was or is at the moment the biggest problem, yeah. What was very, very helpful actually in that sense was that our steering committee, the board of members, was from beginning 100% behind us. We had all